Here we are again. It's Thursday, and we're talking about confidence. So if you've been listening to other business coaches, they're probably only giving you half the story about confidence. And the way I know this is, I attend a lot of seminars, webinars. I read a lot of books. I do a lot of studying with regard to business coaching and those types of things. And one of the things that just grinds my gears is when people say, all you have to do to start charging more, to winning better clients, getting better projects, whatever, is you just have to have confidence. You have to be living in your joy or whatever. And if you just had more confidence, then everything would be better. You could raise your prices, you could raise your rates, you would attract better clients, everything would be great if you could get to the level of confidence that's required to really achieve these kinds of results. But the problem is, you can't just get confidence. It's not just some kind of a thing that you just you just get. And the reason why is because there's two types of confidence. So I'm going to go over both of the types of confidence, how you build both of those types of confidence, why you need them, and what the impact and the results are going to be once you get there. And I call it like your bulletproof level of confidence. So if you're here and you're checking things out, hey, Rebecca, good to see you. I was just going to mention that if you're here and you're checking out this video, to go ahead and say hello so I can see that you're there, and high five for everybody. Boop. So all right. So here's the thing about this whole confidence thing. The issue is there's two types of confidence, and I think that's the part that most of the other coaches that I've been seeing are really missing when it comes to building up the kind of confidence you need to really attract the clients that you want. And everyone focuses on the first half of the confidence, which is important. I'm not saying anyone's wrong about this. I'm just saying it's incomplete. And so what I mean is the first level of confidence is kind of this internal confidence. It's like your attitude. It's like your heart. It's like the stuff that kind of comes from within. And you can kind of think about it as like, how are you showing up in the situation? Are you just kind of dabbling on things? Are you kind of tickling this, tickling that, trying to figure out what's going on, analyzing stuff all the time, never really figuring out exactly what the right choice is, asking all of these questions and never really coming to any kind of a conclusion, and you just kind of feel tentative all the time, or are you kind of the opposite, or are you showing up saying, I've got what it takes, I know I can do this, the road might be hard, there might be a lot of challenges, but I'm absolutely going to crush this. I don't care how hard it is or how long it takes. There's nothing that's going to keep me down. I'm totally doing this. Don't even talk to me about trying. I'm absolutely going to do it. We're winning here, no question about it. That's the bottom line. So, which two sides are you on when it comes to that kind of attitude? And that's what most of the coaches are focusing on, getting you into that second attitude where you've got the grit, where you've just got you're not stopping. There's nothing that's going to make you quit. You are 100% committed to doing what you're doing. And when you show up like that, that inspires confidence in other people. There's no question about that. And it actually is what it takes to kind of get the motivation and to get the energy and to get the power behind what you're offering. And that does have a meaningful and powerful impact on your services, on the way that you view yourself, on the way other people view you. It impacts your pricing. It impacts all of these different things. But if that's all that you've got, you're missing half of the story and you're going to burn out. And that's why this type of confidence and this kind of teaching really grinds my gears, because it sets people up for failure. Because here's the thing, it feels good when someone tells you this, because you're thinking, oh, this is great. All I have to do is just, churn myself up, and now I'm going to have what it takes, and I can raise my prices. I can, charge more for all these projects and make more money, and everything's going to be better, and my clients will be happier. All of these things will be great if I can just kind of stir up this feeling of confidence. And that's just not true, because it takes it takes the other half, and the other half is the external form. So we just talked about kind of like the internal confidence, but there's also this external confidence. And what I mean by that is that's like the substance, that's the evidence that supports the internal confidence. And so if all you're doing is just spinning up this feeling of confidence that you're going to crush it, that you've got what it takes, that you've got the grit, you've got the power, you've got the determination, you're not quitting, that's great. You definitely need that. But on top of it, you have to have the evidence, you have to have the substance, you have to have You have to have a list of reasons why you have that confidence. And so, for example, if you ask yourself the question, I am going to do this because, or I can do this because, what do you put in that blank? How many things do you have to put in that blank? Do you have 2, 3 things? Do you have 5 things, 10 things? Well, you should have like 20 things. You should have like 50 things to put in that blank. So that's like your 50 stack of awesome. Like, what are the reasons why you were awesome? What evidence do you have? What substance can you put into that feeling so that when something comes and swoops in, so like when life just kind of comes in and swoops in, what are you going to do to fight that thing back? Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to stir up this internal confidence. You're going to do all the stuff that people say, and you're going to be at the top of the mountain. You're going to be ready to crush this thing. And then you know what's going to happen? Somebody's going to say something. Somebody might mention something on Facebook. Somebody might just say something in passing, or you come across some sort of a challenge that just comes down to to steal your joy or to crush your heart. And you're not going to have anything to fight that off with. And so then what's going to happen is you're going to think, oh, well, you know what? And then this could be just an innocent thing. This could be such a small innocent thing. Like you could just be chatting with somebody over dinner, or reading a Facebook post, or maybe somebody comments on one of your posts, and they don't mean any harm. They just say something, but you know what? It sticks in your craw. And then you're stuck with it. And you think about it. It's like a splinter in your mind, and every time you think about it, it nags on you a little bit. And then the next thing you know, you're not on the top of the mountain anymore. Now you're kind of sliding down the hill, and there's nothing to pull you back up. And so you're like, well, what do I do? And so, and then maybe something else comes around and kind of starts stealing your joy. And you're trying to whip up this feeling of confidence, but these things keep swooping in. But if you have that 50 stack of awesome, where you're like, I can do this because, and then you start putting these results that you've got into the mix, then you can, then the resounding sound of your 50 stack of awesome will drown out that little buzzing mosquito around your ear. But if you don't have that, then the little buzzing mosquito is going to keep you up all night. And it's going to be annoying, and it's going to be distracting, and it's going to be very difficult to overcome. And if you don't believe it, try sleeping in a room with a mosquito, and you'll see what I mean by that. That little thing is just crushes the whole experience. So what you need to do is you have to develop this external confidence and the internal confidence. And when you do that, then you have what I call the bulletproof confidence. That means that whatever people are shooting at you, whatever comes down, it doesn't matter, because you know that the truth and the power that you have totally outweighs all of these little nagging mosquitoes flying around. And so you can just brush them away, and it doesn't matter, because you've got your 50 stack of awesome. You've got this substance, you've got this evidence, you've got the kinds of things that really put meaning behind the results that you're going for. And now that kind of confidence, when you have that totally and fundamentally changes all of the things. That changes the kinds of clients you attract. It changes the way that you view yourself. It changes the way that you view the value of what you're offering. It changes everything. It changes the way you talk about your services. It changes the types of clients you accept in the first place. It changes the types of services you even offer, because you'll probably stop offering things that don't matter and only offer the things that drive the results that your clients are looking for. So for example, what that means is you'll stop offering things like $500 websites or $800 websites, because everyone knows that nobody's going to get any results from an $800 website. Because if you want an $800 website, then you should just build it yourself. You should just go onto Wix and build a website for yourself, if that's the kind of site you want. If you don't feel like going onto Wix, you should go onto Upwork and say, here's the 5 pages I want in a contact form, and get somebody to build it for you. For instead of $800, give them $80 or $50 or $100 or whatever. Those kinds of projects aren't the kinds of projects you're going to be accepting, because everyone knows, I know, they know, everyone knows that like a 5-page website with a contact form doesn't get people results. It doesn't matter how good the site looks. It doesn't matter if it's responsive or not. You have to have somebody there to continue to cultivate the business strategies behind the website. Otherwise, the website's just going to sit on the internet, and it doesn't matter what it looks like or what it says. Nothing's going to happen, because nobody's going to go there. And you know that, I know that, they know that, everybody knows that. And so you'll stop offering those types of things, because that's not where your confidence is. You have the confidence that you can do more than that. You can deliver more than a website. And so what that means is you're going to be delivering the kinds of things that drive the business outcomes. And we've talked a bunch of times in previous training sessions here in this group about how it's not about building websites anymore. It's not about selling these technical services. It's not about graphic design and SEO and, responsive web design and whatever. It's not about implementing a better image slider. None of those things make any difference except for the fact that those things can drive business results. But if you're not doing the things to drive the results, then all of those things are useless because no one's experiencing them. No one's seeing them. It doesn't matter. You're not getting any traffic. You're not getting any calls. You're not getting any leads. And so if you can actually start driving those kinds of results for your clients, then those results are going to start feeding your confidence. So in both forms, right? It's going to feed the external confidence because you're going to say, hey, look what I did for that client. And then it's going to feed the internal confidence because you're going to be like, I know I can do it again. And so that's what I'm talking about. And I really feel like that second half of the external confidence, the actual substance of the results that you're getting is missing from the vast majority of teaching or talking about this particular topic. So what I'm saying now is, like, if you've been listening to this and you kind of feel like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. You have to have this bulletproof confidence. You have to have the both sides, the internal, the external. And when you do, it really does fundamentally change things. And maybe you're thinking, you know what? I don't want to build, $800 websites or $1,000 websites or whatever anymore, because you're just spinning your wheels. And we talked before about how that's kind of even a selfish thing to do. I mean, you're not trying to be selfish, but really, if you think about it, you're saying, well, I'm going to take $1,000 from my client and I'm going to give them a website that they're not going to get a positive return on their investment on. And that stinks. Now, you might not be intentionally doing that, but kind of when you pull back the covers, you realize that that's sort of what's going on. You're doing the work because you can. You're doing the work because you need the money. And your client might even have a really good experience working with you, thinking, oh, I'm so blessed to have a website that's got, it looks better than I ever thought. And then what happens is then you hand the site over and there the site sits doing nothing. And, you get 2-3 visitors per day, maybe even less. And then there's no return on that investment. And so even though the experience was good, even though you did really good work, the selfish aspect of it is you're getting much more return for your work than they're getting on their investment with you. And that stinks. That ends up stinking for everybody, because in the back of your mind, you know that the next time you talk to another client, you're going to be thinking, you know what? They're going to pay $1,000 for this, but it's really better for me than it is for them. And then that starts destroying your confidence. That lowers your level of confidence. And then, it's going to be this little nagging secret that's kind of in the back of your mind saying, yeah, I can do great work. I can make websites that look better than most other people. I can do all of these things. But even when I do, it's the kind of thing it's not, nobody's really going to get the kinds of results they're looking for, unless maybe they then hire somebody else to do SEO or other kinds of marketing or whatever. And you're just kind of, laying the foundation. But here's the thing. Why don't they keep working with you for those types of things? Why don't you stay with the client and continue to cultivate the business the business concepts and strategies that made them want to build the website in the first place? So that's what I'm talking about. So if you're kind of thinking, yeah, I don't want to do these cheap websites anymore, or even worse, what if you're out there, a bunch of people I talk to are out there building like free websites or really inexpensive websites just for the sake of building up your portfolio. And what we talked about on Tuesday is you don't need a portfolio. If you're selling graphic design services, if you're selling, photography services, if you're doing video production services, yeah, the portfolio, it makes a difference. You need a better portfolio for that kind of thing. But if you're selling what we're talking about here, if you're saying, yeah, I'm going to be a double stacker and I'm not going to do the kind of stuff that everyone else is doing, I'm going to start driving these high value results for my clients, your portfolio doesn't make a difference. And we were just talking about that. If you can offer a solution to the problem people are having when they're having it, then it doesn't matter if you have the portfolio because you've got what they want. And I gave the example of, I windsurf a lot. And so, when I was just learning how to windsurf, somebody came up to me and taught me how to water start. And when they came up to me and said, here's what I can do to help you, I didn't ask them if they were a windsurfing instructor, if they've had 20 years of experience or 1,000 students or any of those other things. I didn't want their resume. I wanted the outcome of that lesson. I wanted to learn how to do that particular thing. I wanted how to do a water start so I could be a better at windsurfing. And if you want to learn more about that, check out the Tuesday video. And we can talk more about why you don't need a portfolio if this is the kind of approach you're taking. And so if it sounds like this is what you want to do and you're ready to start, seeing the results of having done this, and you can do it right away. It doesn't take very long. If you need the tech skills that drive business results, here, there's three things I want to talk to you about. The first one is the technical skills that drive business results, right? So I'm not talking about the kind of thing where you're just kind of learning how to implement a WordPress site. Anybody can do that. Anyone can do it on their own. You can do it for free. There's a gobs of things. Go on YouTube, you'll figure it out. But if you're trying to figure out how to implement the kinds of technology that drive business results, and I'm talking about like email campaigns, drip campaigns, sales funnels, e-commerce, membership areas, online courses, things that'll get people to call people more. Like if you're trying to get more calls, if you're trying to get more people into stores, if you're trying to get repeat customers, all of the things that matter, there's so many of them. And what we can do is we can kind of figure out who is your target market and then work on a specific set of skills for the people you're trying to work with. So thing number one is the technical skills that drive business outcomes. Well, that's the first thing you need. The second thing you need is you need to figure out what combination of those skills can you put together that you can offer to the types of clients you want to work with. That's thing number two. Thing number three is your business structure. Meaning if you want to start hitting, $5,000 a month, if you want to start hitting like $10,000 per month, how are you going to do it? Are you going to do it selling $1,000 websites? Because if so, you're going to have to do more than one every week. If you want to hit $5,000 per month selling $1,000 websites, you're doing more than one website per week. How are you going to find that many clients? How are you going to do that much work? And even if you could, we just talked about the fact that those cheap websites don't drive the business outcomes because no one is there to cultivate those strategies after you launch the site. Because you have to leave now. You have to go find some more clients. And so now you're freaking out. You've got the feast or famine problem where sometimes you land 5 or 6 clients all at once, and sometimes you land none. And then, everything's spiky and unpredictable. And every time you launch a new website, you pretty much lose all your income until you find another client. It's just not a structure that's going to scale to the level that you probably want for your business. So the third thing is, how can we restructure that so that you can scale to, $5K per month, $6K per month, $10K per month? And how can you do it on your own? So you don't have to have, a whole bunch of other people working for you or any of those other things. What kind of business structure or strategy can you put together for your own business? So the three things are the technical skills, the business packages that you can offer based on the combination of technical skills that drive the outcomes for the clients you're working with. And the third thing is your business. Like, what kind of structure can we put into your business so that you can actually achieve the income goals that you want, and that you can do it really quickly, that you don't have to wait, a full year to start hitting these kinds of goals. This is the kind of thing you can do in a couple of weeks, couple of months. And so if that's what you want to talk about, if you want to talk about how you do this, how do you get those skills? What are those business packages? What are the prices for those packages, by the way? And how can you restructure your business in a way that can scale to the level you want? Let's talk about it. So I've got my schedule at doublestack.net/call. So if you go over to doublestack.net/call, you're going to see some times where my personal calendar is available, and we can talk about this for free. And we'll dive into the kinds of projects that you've been working on, the kinds of clients you're working with, what kinds of things you feel like are kind of holding you back, and how we can overcome that stuff. And if you want to work together after the call, awesome. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too. But why don't we get on the phone and talk about this so that you can get unstuck, so that you can kind of start really bringing in the kind of confidence that you need to really start scaling your business, to start attracting the kinds of clients you want at the prices that you're really worth. Because one of the most frustrating things for me is there's, a lot of the people I talk to have some really nice skills, nice interpersonal skills, nice technical skills, but they're spinning their wheels, wearing themselves out, burning themselves out because they don't have those three things. They don't have the right technical skills. They don't have any business packages whatsoever, and they don't have any sort of business structure that can actually scale to the point where people, where they can start hitting the income goals that they want without working, all day long, every single day, and burning yourself out with that. So So yeah, so that's the kind of thing that I'm offering. If you want to talk about it, head over to doublestack.net/call and we can talk. And it's in depth and it's free. It's 45 minutes. It's a free call and we can go over these things for your business. So if that sounds good to you, it definitely sounds good to me. And let's do it. So here we are. Normally we do these these Facebook Live training sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Next week is going to be a little bit of a question mark for me. I was supposed to be out of town today, but with the hurricane and everything on the East Coast, it kind of washed away my plans. And so it might be the case that that next week I'm not going to be as available for these training sessions on Facebook. But be all that as it may, we'll be getting back into the mix of things pretty soon, and definitely would look forward to talking to you. I'll definitely be available for the phone calls if you want to talk over the phone. So head over to doublestack.net/call. Pick one of those times. You'll see a little form after you select the time, and you can tell me a little bit about maybe a link to your website, maybe a little bit of history about the kinds of clients you're working with, about your business. So when we get on that call, it's going to be filled with actionable information that you can really start applying to your business right away. So if that sounds good, head over to doublestack.net/call and we'll take it from there. So I really look forward to talking to you. Here's a high five for the weekend. Boop. And thanks for showing up. And I look forward to meeting up again soon. Take care, guys.